Alright folks, my name is Freyn and welcome to Simulator. Now I don't do simulator videos very often these days. I do still quite enjoy the game mode, but I don't really find it's the best for videos or streams because there's just not a lot of action going on a lot of the time. But this game, I've actually been sitting on for a while. I found it was a rare one where a lot went on and I thought it was a good one to make a video of, so I put it to one side and obviously then forgot about it. So I'm back with it now. We're doing some more sim. Side note, I do have an extremely bad cough at the moment, so if I sound a bit wheezy, that's why. Don't worry too much. Now, as you can see, I'm on Kursk. I've already got my first target. That's a Centauro. So just a couple of crew damage to him there. Nothing substantial. He's going to get away for the moment, and we're going to follow up with a shot into the AMX-30B2. So that's already one kill down, one cripple, which is about to be followed up into a second kill. The T-62 is what I'm driving, and it does have a stabilizer, so I'm not fully stopping. I am occasionally slowing down a bit as such there to take out the Ariete. But that's already 3 kills on the board. Game's barely started. But as you can see, I'm doing really not the most advisable maneuver, which is to just charge straight across the open field and try and get into one of these trenches. It's really not something I would recommend doing on Kursk. If there is anybody with decent aim on the enemy team, you are quite likely to not make it. So I was very lucky I got out here. The stabilizer certainly helped. It is a full speed stabilizer. I can fire completely without any concerns at all. And I'm now dealing with a starship who's fired his missile back. That's a 16-second reload for him, so I'll take the opportunity to pop up and shoot Type 74G, I believe that was. And now let's finish off the starship as well. There we go. So, picking up the kills very quickly. They could drive out the spawn a bit sort of safer. They could go behind the ridge. They do have the A-cap, so there's no concern for them from getting shot from that side. They could push up there. I don't know quite why so many of them are coming this way, but it's certainly feeding me kills, and well, I definitely had no complaints. So for anybody who hasn't played Simulator, one of the main things is the spawn system is 2 guaranteed ground spawns and 1 air spawn per person. So someone like this, I believe it's the M60 Ariete again, that's just driving straight out into the field. I've already killed him once, so if I take him out again now, he's almost guaranteed to be gone. He may have an aircraft, but he's most likely out. You can see Object 906, my teammate moving in from the left side of the screen there. There is no markers for friendlies in Simulator, so you do have to be able to identify your targets to know not to shoot at him. That's an enemy though, just sitting there. So we pop up. Quick shot. I mean, I could have taken damage there. He did get the shot off, but that's a leopard down. And if he had got the shot off, I think it would have unlikely finished me off. It was only a PDS. Even if it was heat, he would have at most taken out 2 crew. But there goes the friendly 906. He's been taken out by another M60 Ariete. So I know there's something, because the shot came from that direction, I know there's something down the hill behind him. We're capping B. And I'm just going to sit here and look for my targets. Anybody that I can permanently eliminate from the game is going to be a big help. Got a nice spot where my Soviet gun depression is actually not a problem for once. I can move up and down the hill quite freely, get different angles, stay reasonably hidden, and just generally try and pick up a few more kills and a bit more XP. played a lot of the T-62 in the sim in the recent months due to the fact that I have a talisman on it. And the events sort of limit what you're going to see, so you know before you go in what to expect from the enemy team. So I've ended up playing it quite a lot, and I've really started to quite like it. It's not an utter powerhouse of a tank, but it does perform pretty well. Its gun is nice and reliable. Although I was starting to struggle with a couple of the leopards of just... If I got a shot on the side, it didn't seem to always want to one-shot. It seemed to just take out one crew member and then stop. But the parallax isn't too bad. The shells are typically quite well performing. It's got a reasonably low profile. And as I said before, it has a stabilizer, which helps a lot at this tier when you meet things like the Leopard one there, or the M60s, which do not have their own stabilizers. Now that's that Leopard permanently out, I believe. We're still in control of the B and C caps. I'm reasonably positioned between the two, so that I can stop people getting to either one, or at least try and defend it if somebody does get to one of them. It's how I like to play my games. Pick a spot between two caps, just to give me maximum number of targets. Doesn't always work. Sometimes it just gives you maximum number of incoming shots instead. But if you've got a nice fallback position like this little ditch down the channel that runs down the field, down the hill, then you should be pretty safe. You can expose minimum amount of your tank, pop up, take a shot, fall back, and continue to look for targets with the elevated view of the binoculars. Now, I did see a shot come from down behind that ridge line down the hill, but there is another vehicle there, so peek up, take the shot. It's an extremely flat trajectory as it's APFSDS rounds, so pretty easy to aim. It's a Type 74 down. There's the tank I saw firing. That's the M60 from before. And I can't quite get the gun depression where I am. I'm going to need to reposition if I want to take a shot at him without exposing my hull. Just keep my eye on him, make sure he doesn't go anywhere, make sure I don't lose track of him. Yep, that's it. M60A1 DC Ariete. However you say that, I'm not good with foreign languages. But we know where he is. He can get away from there. He could go down the hill, and I wouldn't be able to see him until he appears down in the forest. But he's staying put. So pop up, take out his breach. He's going to pop smoke. And choosing to use that smoke as my own cover and allow me to push forwards. He will have teammates. There will be people who could potentially get a shot on me here. It's not just him I have to worry about, of course. The game isn't 1v1. But it's a reasonably safe risk, as we have the B point, so I shouldn't have too many incoming shots from my flank. It's mostly that ridge line behind him, the one in front of their spawn. That should be the only thing to really worry about. It does mean, however, I've given up that good position I was talking about. So I've left my little hole, and we have just started losing B. So now I really wish I hadn't moved forwards. Most of my team is out. I've had a great game so far, but clearly I'm the only one. Everybody else has been dying. Just got to check. There's often people hiding down by the water there. But moving up. Try and flank this M60. There he goes. And that's him down. So, should be another player for the enemy team out. Given the fact that we have now lost the B point, I wish I had stayed put. I would have been able to maybe do something about it. Maybe not. With all the shrubbery in the town these days, you can't always see the opponent. It's not my best shot on the Leopard. He's still got an active gun, he's still got an active driver. And obviously that means they now know where I am as well, if he's going to relay any information for his team. There's another starship with him, so first let's finish the Leopard. That should be him out permanently as well. The starship just got hit by someone else, but there's another Leopard in front of me, and I've lost my loader, so it's a pretty long reload for this now, which gives him time to take out my breach, and I'm pretty much dead at this stage. But as mentioned, I do have another spawn. Simulator does give you 2. That was pretty good for a first spawn out, 9 kills. I only wish I had stayed in that further forwards position. The Ariete may have pushed around down to C and ended up coming up behind me. So, either way, there was risk involved. There's no right or wrong answer in these situations a lot of the time. But if I'd stayed in my other position, the Leopard would have not been, unexpectedly on my flank like that. He would have still been in front of me, and I may have seen him, I may have had a better angle to shoot him before he went down there. Now, as you can see there, both teams are very low on players, but the enemy team has 3 players who've never died, so despite being similar on numbers, we are at a disadvantage. We've managed to get back B while everyone was going down the hill, but if any of us die, we're out. There's no coming back from this, again, unless you have an aircraft, which I think, especially for sim flight, is very unlikely for most people and utterly impossible for me personally. I'm not a pilot, as we all know, and piloting in sim is very different. Now again, not the smartest plan to go back over this field, but with the reduced numbers, it should be safer than the first time, and the first time went pretty well, so I chose to repeat it. I already know that some of them are, or were headed down the hill towards the sea point. They would have likely come back to go and recap B once they lost that, so I'm working on the assumption that the enemies are sat down this hill like I was at the start. And that's one Leopard down who did come back, so seeing him, there's a gunshot just gone off in the town over there, and I can see a little bit of turret, so take the shot, track gunner. I'm not quite sure how given the hit cam, but he's not going anywhere and he's not firing back. He has, however, swiveled. It's a starship, you can tell from the stubby barrel. He has swiveled, which made me bounce my follow-up shots. He'll likely be repaired soon. There's still a bit of gun smoke going off down the hill, so potentially something still down there. We'll take out the starship, and let's move in and try and recap B. Ticket-wise, we are miles ahead. If I can just hold this cap for another minute or so, it should be a pretty convincing win. I went to 11 kills. The enemy, I have a rough idea on their location, say due to the gun smoke that I was seeing popping up down the hill. So I should be able to get in here, take the cap, hide, and I don't even need to actually kill any more enemies. As long as they don't decap C, if they come back to B, all I've got to do is sit on the cap, stay hidden, block it, and make sure they can't decap it. I don't have to hold out for too long. And we're pretty much come to the close now with this capture. 11 kills for me. Now, the rest of my team's only had 4, so kill-wise it's certainly been a carry. I can't quite call it a solo carry because getting kills is one thing, but you still need caps, and the rest of my team were the ones taking the caps while I sat there picking off the enemy. Both parts are necessary, but yeah, it's been a rare very fast-paced simulator game. Normally, even if there's a high kill count, it's pretty spread out over a long period of time. So I wanted to make this video just because it's such a rare thing that I get this opportunity. That is the end though, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.